We're all looking for money. Currently, the county is collecting our DMV funds and sales tax funds, so we need to negotiate with them to get some of that money back. I'm sure there's a lot of other areas that we can look at. The board get together and make decisions and find out if we can increase our revenue and help the residents with issues like property taxes, getting them lowered from the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is for Cheryl Bernard Shaw. There are late fees applied to the water bill payments received after the 18th. These fees will go into the general fund. What would you like to see these fees used for?
Well, I think there are quite a few programs that those funds could be used for. However, I think what's most important is that we use those funds for what the citizens or the residents of Mountain House feel is a priority in terms of planning for the community. So while I would like to make some suggestions in terms of what I think would be great, I think it's first important and foremost to survey the residents, to get their input, get their feedback about where they see those funds being necessary to be applied. And then secondarily, to make sure that once the residents have made a decision about where they think those funds should be applied, that it's my job to help champion and advocate for that on the board, to get their support for that so that we can exercise those funds according to the will of the people.
Thank you. Rebuttal, Doug Stevens.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Certainly. There are late fees applied to the water bill payments received after the 18th. These fees will go into the general fund. What would you like to see these fees, the additional monies, used for?
I think that with the number of houses that are empty right now, where the water is turned off and the grass is dying and it's obvious that people don't live in those houses, I think that we should use some of that money to take care of those yards so that the houses are not so obviously abandoned.
Thank you. Rebuttal, Manny Penn.
Thank you, Susan. You know, those late fees, there's a lot of programs that we can use those fees. First of all, I probably wanted to create a community. We want to create a community center program. A community center program is an after-school program in math, science, and language art to help improve the API test scores in our community. A good school is important because it creates a great community and attract new buyers to our community. And also, if we have enough of those fees left, I'd like to also expand the Neighborhood Watch program to hire a security personnel and work in conjunction with the sheriff's department. That way, you know, when you're out on vacation, you can say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the CSD, and the CSD will keep an eye on it. And that work in conjunction with the sheriff's department. Because the sheriff's department cannot expand, cannot keep on, I mean, it's just limited right now at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question, M.L. Gordon. What opportunities do you see to involve additional public or private agencies in common community and regional goals?
Could you repeat that, please? I can't, I'm not hearing the question.
What opportunities do you see to involve additional public or private agencies in common community and regional goals?
Well, I believe there are already existing agencies that exist in San Joaquin County that we should be a party to, and I would also support those and solicit the support of the residents of this community in terms of what they thought their needs were with regards to representing them on those bodies. I believe that in almost every county, if not in every county, there are governing bodies that oversee funding that is available to all communities, as well as opportunities for service delivery in all communities. So I would certainly encourage, if we are not participating in that now, that we would participate in it. And I would see that not only extending beyond into San Joaquin County, but also neighboring counties that also have an impact, both positive and adverse to Mountain House. So I would certainly want to be a party to regional bodies that would, in fact, bring in revenues as well as additional grants into this community.
Thank you. Rebuttal, Tom Lee.
Thank you very much for that question. If I'm elected, what I would do with these, as far as private and public agencies, I know that one of the things that we really have to get done here is to get Delta College here as soon as possible. It's tantamount for jobs, it's tantamount for a lot of things. So as an elected official, I would try to put pressure on Delta College and other agencies to get Delta College built here as soon as possible. Also, I would try to get other agencies and talk to the state and everybody else that I could talk to find out when we're going to get a high school here. We need those things and we need them now. Waiting another 10 years to get those things is going to be tantamount to losses and the dying of this community if we don't get Delta College, high schools, and other community facilities here as soon as possible. So I would talk to private as well as public agencies that we have available to us to get those done.
Thank you. Rebuttal, Nashika Smith.
What I would consider doing is using both the public and private agencies, number one, as sponsorship opportunities for the activities that we want to have here in our town. Also utilize their wisdom to hopefully help us to either overcome or avoid some mistakes or potential mistakes that we could possibly make, which would only make us stronger as a town. I think we need to build relationships with as many agencies as possible, because it's only going to help us both in the short term and in the long term.
Thank you.
Next question is for Warren Fortes. How would you go about implementing the negotiations or acquiring property for a dog park?
Can I take door number 3 on that one? Yeah, acquiring negotiations with all. I'm assuming the question is with regard to eminent domain. I'm not really sure. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Eminent domain is the way that I took it, but I'm not positive. How would you go about implementing the negotiations or acquiring property for a dog park? I think the question's just in general. How would you bring a dog park to Mountain House?
Well, the master plan kind of spells out really, I mean, in terms of the dog park, the master plan kind of spells out how we're going to build out this community. So really, the board is charged with really executing that master plan. With regard to a dog park, I think it's really going to be one of those things where the board is charged with approaching the community, especially the dog owners. I myself am a dog owner. And determining where a dog park would actually make sense. But by and large, the master plan is what governs how it's going to be built out. I personally would like to see a dog park, yes.
Thank you. Rebuttal? Aaron Leahy-Coynan.
All right, thanks. First, I just have to apologize for the first question. I thought I was supposed to make an argument with what was asked. And I really didn't know how to make an argument about that, because I agree with the previous one. As far as a dog park goes, what I would do if I were elected is, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. I would look at a community that's very similar to Mountain House's, and I'd love to learn from their successes. Sometimes I think we make things too complicated when we try to reinvent the wheel, and it also can be costly. And so really I'd look to other communities who have been successful. And I think, my last 30 seconds, I think we're dumping way too much money and time into agencies and things. I think we need to go back to family values. That's why I'm here. The greatest work we're going to do is within the walls of our homes. We know statistically that kids that eat dinner at home each night are less likely to end up in juvenile facilities. And really that's where we need to invest our time. We don't need to spend money in all these other governments. We don't need to improve. Sorry.